No, you're good. I don't know. He's really smart, so he can answer a lot of questions. Huh? He could. He's pretty smart right now. I'll get all the critical review of what happened on the way home. So. Oh, boy. How we doing? Good team win today. Found a way to win. You know, I think we've done that most of the year. We've been able to find ways to win as a team. And, you know, started a really sloppy first half for us with execution. You know, I mean, and not just, oh, okay, well, we didn't block or this. I mean, guys just going the wrong direction, getting the wrong signal, running the wrong plays. So that was kind of disappointing. But we felt we had a good plan, and the guys, we just told them keep sticking with it. They did a great job with the plan to win. I think, obviously, I don't know, and all the little notes I'll look at right here, but I think really for the first 3 quarters of the game, they dominated field position, you know, which is plan to win. I mean, they kept us pinned deep, made us have to go the length of the field. You know, they'd bend, and then we'd punt, and they won the field position game and did what they needed to. And fourth quarter, I think we were able to flip that. We were able to, you know, create a turnover, create some positive drives, finish drives in the red zone, and really good finish to the game by our guys.
Was Kyle struggling with the wet ball, or was?
I don't think so. I think at times he was trying to do too much. You know, they were throwing a lot of different looks at him. He was, you know, instead there were times, you know, some simple things he could have done. He was just trying to do a little too much at times.
And what are you seeing out of the run game? It seems like it's starting to come along.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, I mean, obviously you want a little bit more consistency out of it. But we are hitting like explosive plays, you know, and I think just how people are playing us for those things, it gives opportunities for explosive plays. So, you know, and how they're defending the run and trying to bracket different receivers and take receivers away from you, that you end up getting explosive runs.
Yeah, can you talk about being right where you want to be right now? Open day in Georgia.
Feels great. Love it. You know, this is, you know, you drew it up and said, you know, this is you want to be in November. You know, we're going to head into November, right? I think next game's in November, if I look at my calendar right. So you're heading into November in control of your own destiny and what's going to happen, and that's where we want to be. That's where we expect to be at Florida. So we got a bye week, chance to hopefully get some guys healthy. You know, I mean, it's a great credit to the guys that our team, the guys next guy up, to get us in this position with all the injuries we've had to deal with this year. But hopefully we get healthy moving forward, and you know we got a big break, and got a big 3-game stretch after the bye to try to win the SEC East.
Coach, you were asked about adversity, responding to adversity last week after the LSU win.
Yeah.
Seems like you did that. The rain, the weather,
Yeah, I mean, you know, you come out rainy day. We don't, you come out, their first drive, they make a leaping, diving, one-handed catch after we make a great defensive play, and we get 2 offside penalties, you know what I mean? And then we go out and we have 3 MAs, 3 missed assignments, 3 times in a row. Guys go the wrong direction and run the wrong play. And you're like, holy cow, maybe we're not going to handle the adversity really well. But, you know, I mean, we just keep coaching. Our guys keep playing, give great effort. You know, at halftime, we're not, you know, not a whole lot of panic, you know. Even when we come out the first play of the second half, you know, just here, take the ball and get a quick touchdown. You know, let's throw some more adversity on ourselves. So, but found a way to win, came back, you know, and you know, one of the hard things, you look at the fourth quarter of that game, you know, coming off the stretch we've had to just come off of, right? You know, where you're playing 2 top 10 teams and played one last week where your team gets home at 4 something in the morning from a, you know, late night kickoff, and be able to finish the game, was it 21-7 in the fourth, to finish the game that way, you know, really shows a lot about the mental toughness of the team. Well, I mean, early kick, weather, it was. I thought we had a good week of practice. We didn't have a lot of juice at practice and energy at practice this week, you know. But I think, you know, guys, I'm looking at guys, and I think they were kind of a little worn down. But they took care of business all week, and you saw as the game wore on, we were able to do that.
Freddie Swain's catch.
Great play, great catch. You know, really good by Kyle. I think they called the holding on him, right? He was running the route, and the guy, he's with a very similar situation other game where the guy he's the primary receiver, and the guy kind of held and tackled him. And they called it, but he stuck with him, and Freddie was able to pull out of it and catch it and make the play. And because that was a great play. I'm looking at it. I didn't know he caught it. I'm like, boy, I mean, looks like that because I'm watching him. He's a primary receiver, and then like you get that happened, and then and then I saw the flag, and I saw Kyle. I'm like, just hold on to the ball just in case the flag doesn't come out here, and he still threw it to him, and he was able to make the catch.
Was that a teaching moment for you last week? I mean, if Kyle throws the ball at Tyree's feet, it might be a pass interference call, so you can work it on.
Yeah, I mean, to just stick with and trust your reads. Trust your reads and trust. This is where you're supposed to go with the ball. Go with it, and and he did on that play.
It's touchdown.
Yeah.
Put you up 31-20. How often do you guys? How sensitive is that? Practicing that play and that execution.
It's really he was late with the throw, which makes it closer. I mean, it should have been a much quicker throw. Like both our last 2 touchdowns were quick throws, kind of screen passes. The first one he was late, and the second one he got out right on time. So.
And what the Damian Pierce run, 75-yard run, what kind of a spark did that give?
Well, I thought huge. You know what I mean? At that point, we come out in the second half. We're like, all right, we're getting the ball, tie game. We're in good position. We just like, hey, we don't want it. You take it, and then they score on a 3rd down and long, and it's kind of like holy mackerel. So I think that brought some juice and life to this team. I mean, just to avoid the negative start to the second half, it kind of like changed it around immediately. I think the biggest thing for him, he's had the last 2 weeks. He's had really good. He's been much better in practice. Much a different player in practice than he was, and not playmaking. I mean, I've watched him make plays. Different player in the discipline and what he's doing, and knowing his assignment, knowing how to run routes. Which I think for young guys, that's the hard thing. That look and be like, Coach, don't you see me make these great plays? I'm a playmaker, and I said, I do, but then I see you go the wrong way sometimes. I mean, you got to be disciplined and exact. And in the last 2 weeks, he's really done a good job of that, of improving that way, and. I think that was, you saw us. So I think he's gotten a lot more trust from everybody, and you saw that he has the ability to make plays. Well, it was a really athletic catch and finish to the play. It was a great play.
Coach, Georgia's been the standard bearer in the East over the last couple of years. What is the upcoming game mean for the team?
Yeah, it'll be a big one, I mean, they were able to, we're a little different. We were in a different situation last year. I know we weren't totally, I don't think, in control of our destiny going into that game. I don't remember. But we are this year. So, it'd be a big game. Florida, Georgia's usually, I'm used to it being a big game. It's a fun game to play in, great atmosphere. Should be really exciting.
Yeah, before that go-ahead touchdown, that 4th down play,
Yep.
hits complete, was there any hesitation about going for it?
No, the time before we punted, which ended up being the right move, I think. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking where we were. It's great that we have an offensive staff and everybody, because you got to call the plays quick. So you're thinking, I have time to flip over to Todd and say, should we go for it here? But Brian's upstairs, and Brian, you get I think one of the things upstairs, you get a little different feel at times of things. And he's like, hey, pin him deep. We're okay. We're fine. We're down 3. We're playing good defense. Just pin him deep here. We'll get the ball back and make something happen. And so I think that was big. And then the next time we're in that situation, we're about 5 to 6 yards closer. Right? I think that one was at the 41 or 42. The next time was at the 34. And in the weather, you're like, the first question is, can Evan hit it from there? The answer to that's yes. But in the conditions we're in today, I don't know that you want to go after that. And I felt good. We have playmakers, so we just got to get the ball to our playmakers, and we're able to do that.
Before halftime, you guys get pin and deep. It seemed like you were going to be content just to go to the locker room. Then you get a big run. Was there any thought?
Yeah, it was kind of back and forth. You know what I mean? The big run still put us. The big run put us still at the 20-something yard line, and so it was kind of one of those where are we going to go? Do we just take one shot down the field to see where we're at to get out of it? Try to take one more chunk play and see if we can get ourselves in field goal position. But we knew we were getting the ball to start the second half, and the other issue for that one to me is like I said, we hadn't been executing clean in the first half. If we were executing clean, maybe a different mindset, but we had some mistakes.
How do you feel about Zuniga and Bernard's availability for the next game? Are you optimistic?
I don't know. I am. I'm extremely optimistic. It's been how many weeks now? So, by medical standards, hopefully, I'm by medical standards and timing, I'm very optimistic that they'll be good to go. I'm optimistic, honestly, they'll be good to go for next Monday's practice. A week, not game week, at least by Tuesday at the absolute latest to practice for Georgia.
And what do you think that you talk about the lack of execution early and guys missing some? Do you think maybe that had to do with mental fatigue? Or when you guys just had to-
Yeah, it could. It could. I don't know. We're gonna watch, and we'll talk, and it's like guys say, "Hey, I saw something else. I saw this play signaled. I saw that play signaled," and and it wasn't one guy. So it was like, hey, Kyle called Kyle got the wrong signal, and the receivers ran one play, he ran another, and then receivers ran different routes, and then they were supposed to run, and two guys ran a route, and two guys ran a different route, and we're all over the place. So, I don't know. That's kind of annoying, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because last week the operation
It was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So
What was it? What do you think the difference was?
we get
Pedestrian?
18 to 22-year-olds that are grinding, that are like trying to go to school, get a degree, learn a plan, having to play a tough schedule, and this is a really good team we played. I don't get anything wrong on this. When you go look at this, like I said, we're right now. Everyone said, okay, the 4-game stretch that we're 3 games through is probably the toughest in college football anybody has to play this season. You got a hard time. You're gonna have to jump up and down and see the schedule that South Carolina's had to play is probably one of the toughest schedules this season, and so they've played pretty well all year. They're a good football team.
What do you think of their run game?
I thought they did a really good job scheming it up. I think they had to make some changes with Helinski not being able to move there. So I thought they did a good job of creating some schemes to, just be able to allow him to hand the ball off pretty easily. And then I thought they did a really good job of creating schemes of attacking, when our 2 best players are out, of attacking those parts of the field. You know what I mean? Which is that's what you do. You look for your advantage and your mismatches, and they're looking and saying, hey, okay, if Zuniga and Grenard aren't playing, let's attack those positions, and they did a good job doing that.
How did Helinski's status kind of impact maybe your?
How's what?
How did Helinski's pending status kind of impact your game plan at all? Anything?
Not at all. Not at all. I thought I give him credit. He must have had a pretty severe injury last week to not come back in the game. Kyle had a similar deal, and he was able to come back into the game. And so, to come back and recover from that in a week, I give him a lot of credit.
So you miss those guys in the running game, maybe even more than
Yeah, we can, and Todd, you see we've put some other guys in, now we get really young in a hurry. But you see, guys like Bogle and Mahmoud coming in the game as young pass rushers. So I think, for that, but it is, you got to really sub kind of to try to get that done. And, those guys are pretty physical run players. Emory? Yeah, Brian was, Brian was on the headset like, hey, and Emory was ready to go. And we had some plays and some plays for him. Again, we were a little sloppy, and there were times I'm like, oh, should we put him in? And Kyle's missed a couple reads, and we've called this play. But, and then I'm sitting there, like, I didn't get him in early enough. He's coming in. There's a little bit of rain at different times. I want him having to come in to deal with it, and I know he would be fine. Like I said, we have some plays. It's kind of a feel thing. It's not a set thing. But I thought he did a great job. He was ready to go on every snap, and, we'll see. We'll get some time, get a plan. Now we get a bye week too. We'll get to look at some things and really kind of set some. The coaching staff got time to really set aside and say, hey, here's some ways and here's some things that we can get back to that we did maybe a long time ago that he can really hurt you with.
How do you guys do that self-guide? Is that like beginning the week?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm going to give the coaches off tomorrow, but we'll be back at it early Monday morning.
Final question,